What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we just got done with the Sony press conference for E3 2017. It wasn't too bad. I think, like, overall this year for E3, it was kind of an off year for everyone. Like, a lot of the stuff we knew, there wasn't anything big and exciting. Like, I think probably the most exciting was Beyond Good and Evil 2 for Ubisoft, and Anthem for EA, and it was that Microsoft's thing, but we know it's cross-platform. There was a lot of stuff that we knew was coming, and then they just showed us more of that stuff. So again, Sony, a lot of their stuff we knew, but you know, it was still good to see a lot of it. We've got a lot of gameplay stuff. There was no real messing around with Sony. No real messing around. I think Big Boss Man came out twice. Once at the start. And then, yeah, pretty much near the end. And that was pretty much it. I mean, that's what Bethesda did as well. Bethesda did that with their whole, Bethesda Land thing. But at least Sony, like, it was actual games that are coming out, not games that they already have out, and it's just DLC stuff for it. Like, they had maybe, what was it? Maybe one DLC coming out, if not counting Uncharted, because that Uncharted is a standalone sort of expansion thing. So no, that's a standalone thing. So yeah, so Horizon got a DLC, and that was about all of the rehashing for them. They were quite happy to move on from there. But anyway, getting into the games and stuff that they showed, because they were pretty much like quick fire, like let's go, let's show you the games. Because they never really had anything like, you know, hardware wise or anything to really, you know, to really show this year, because they have nothing. They already did the Pro, the PSVR, and all the rest of it. It's all out. They don't really have anything, and there's no new like services or anything, so it was pretty quick fire this time. So first up was the new Uncharted game, The Lost Legacy. Couple of characters that we all know from a few Uncharteds that come along. They sort of come together and are on this new adventure. Kind of a sort of a standalone sort of spin-off thing for the Uncharted series. It allows them to keep it going without Nathan Drake, so that's fine. It looked fantastic. Like, it's very much like a typical Uncharted game. You know, sort of lots of action going on, lots of sort of climbing, puzzle solving stuff. It's treasure hunting. It's an Uncharted game, and it looks really, really good. When they announced that they had this band in front with the sort of the sitar and very, you know, sort of, I think it's like Indian music. If it's not, I'm sorry, guys. But it seemed very, very, very cool. Had the amazing water feature in behind. It was really, really good. Sony knows how to put on a show. They know how to put on a show, and they always do it in a beautiful theater and everything. So they know how to do that. Look, it looked pretty damn good. August 22nd is coming out, so it's pretty soon. I was quite impressed, you know, with it. Will I pick it up? Probably. I still got to get through all the other Uncharted first, because I played the fourth one, and then I went and bought all the HD remakes, because I never played the originals, like all the other ones. So I still got to get all through them before I can probably get to that. But yeah, no, it looked pretty damn good. It sort of had that, you know, Uncharted 4 sort of look to it, and you know, I think if the characters are good, like, you know, which is, you know, very common thing for Naughty Dog games and for Uncharted games, then I think they'll be okay. I think it'll be alright. Then next up was Horizon Zero Dawn, the new DLC for that. The Frozen Wilds, I think it was called. It looked cool. You know, it's more Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, they never really went into specifics of what the story was going to be. Definitely, like, in a more sort of frozen, like, wasteland looking thing. A few new machines to fight. Aloy came up, but she sort of had like this sort of shield looking over the top of her, so maybe new equipment and everything. It's more Horizon Zero Dawn, and Horizon Zero Dawn was freaking fantastic, so I'm all keen on that. Apparently it's coming out this year. Never gave us specific dates, so I'm sure we're going to get something on that. It's more Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, like, what else can you say? It's more of that, so As long as it continues what it did through the actual game, it'll be good. It'll be good. Then after that was Days Gone. Now they showed us more gameplay for Days Gone. More of like, you know, I think he went on a mission to save this guy, and he sort of get attacked by bandits, and you know, you sort of got to figure out. From what I could tell, it was very much like Horizon. It was like Horizon, like, okay, you set traps, throw rocks, guys walk over there, sneak in bushes. It's very much like that, just with zombies, like the zombie horde. And then you can use that horde as a weapon. It's, I don't know. I don't know about it. For me, like, I'm tired of zombie games. Like, I don't need more zombie games. So they have to show me something different and exciting for me to actually want to go and play this. I mean, it looks good. It looks good. It looks like your typical, you know, kind of like what Horizon looked like. Maybe a little bit not as beautiful because Horizon had the amazing world behind it. This is sort of just like a forest. It's more, you know, what we're kind of used to. I don't know. It still looks good. They showed some fighting off and stuff. A lot of quick time events. I think that was a common thing through a lot of these games for PlayStation. That there is a lot of QuickTime events coming through these games, and you wonder if that's a console thing. Like that's the way consoles seem to play now. I don't know. It still looks good. It still looks good. I think I might wait to see exactly like how the story pans out with it. Like it's gonna have to have a good story. If it has a good story, has the good characters, then we'll be okay. But if it's like Walking Dead, the game, but trying to be like Last of Us or something, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be all that interesting. Then one that got, you know, a couple of piqued my interest, these next few games. Monster Hunter World. This got leaked that it was coming. Apparently Sony paid a lot of money to get sort of it's not a direct continuation on the the Monster Hunter games that we all know that are over on Nintendo. Monster Hunter 5 is coming to the Switch, so this is a spin-off thing. Kind of showed us like, you know, sort of like this might be more of a single player, like sort of campaign story sort of thing. Like it's not going to be like, it's still going to be Monster Hunter, but it might have more of a storytelling aspect to it. Not just, you know, go kill these big, amazing creatures and then build weapons and stuff. It showed off a lot of, the, you know, like sort of like dinosaur creatures, very cool looking, sort of dragon type stuff. The world looked very cool, very beautiful. Big badass sword with teeth and everything. Obviously, the guy cooking the meat on the rotisserie at the end, like that's always very Monster Hunter. Look, I'm just glad that Monster Hunter is getting away from the handheld stuff now. Like, that was always my issue with playing Monster Hunter games. It's like a lot of them that, you know, obviously we had the one on the Wii U, but it's always on a damn handheld, and it always feels like it's very confined to that. Like, it's not, like, I just want to see it on a bigger screen. I want to see it look better. I want to, you know, play it with a controller or on a PC or something like that, you know? And this way, I think we will. And as long as this keeps to the tradition of Monster Hunter, and like you go around, you kill these badass, like, you know, sort of boss monsters and things, and you build up and you build your weapons and you make new stuff and you're making your character better, then it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But if it starts, like, in the trailer, he's running away a lot and using, like, it's cool using the environment and everything, but you still got to be able to face down these monsters, roll out of the way, kind of like sort of a Dark Soulsy sort of thing. You know, just fight these big bosses, monsters in that way. So hopefully, it's not too many like cutscenes and stuff like that. And just let us fight. Just let us fight. Let us hunt. That's what Monster Hunter is, and we'll go from there. But yeah. So it's still cool to see. Still very cool to see. 2018 for that. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be cool. Then the remake of Shadow of Colossus. Damn, I did not get to play the original. Obviously, I think that was a PS2 game. This looks like amazingly cool. Amazingly cool. Like, I can see why everyone like compares a lot of the giant, boss, sort of battle things to Shadow of Colossus. Just the huge monsters and things like that. That they look so cool. So cool. Definitely looking forward to getting my hands on it and playing that. I think just do the whole remake of it. As long as, obviously, whenever you remake something, you need to sort of still have that original feel to it, like, but obviously updated, so it's not as clunky and it's not as has some sort of creature comforts to it, but still has the feel of that game. So as long as they do that, I think they'll be fine. But it looked amazing. It looked really, really good. And I can't wait to sort of battle those giant monsters. They look freaking fantastic. So I think it's gonna be pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. Then after that, it was alright. Marvel vs. Capcom. We knew it was coming, so it wasn't all that surprising. They're showing off a few of the characters. Obviously, they got all the Marvel stuff. They got all the Capcom stuff. And like even at the end, they had Rocket Raccoon with Dante from Devil May Cry, and he's like, "Yo, can I play like with the toys or something like that?" And he passes him Ebony and Ivory. That was pretty cool. But I mean, I've never really played Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom. It's never really a game it's never really a game that I've gotten into. Yeah, it's what it is. It showed off a few characters that are coming in. Obviously, they had Thanos. They had all the Guardians. Some Mega Man characters. It's cool. It's cool. Then, which is strangely the first time we've seen it through this entire E3. Call of Duty World War II. Sort of showing off. I think they said it was a multiplayer thing, but I thought it was single player. I could never really tell. It looked like kind of like going back to the way that COD used to be. World War II, bolt actions. It's COD. It's the way it used to be. And is that a good thing? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a good thing. But you can't blame them for trying something new with the more modern stuff. I mean, I'm not much of a COD player. Like I don't really play. I don't play multiplayer because I'm not a freaking Energizer bunny that can keep up with all those freaking Twitch muscle bloody kids out there. I can't handle it. I mean, it looked cool. It was World War II. We've seen a lot of World War II games, so yeah, it's Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty. Like, what else? What else do you want from me? It's Call of Duty. It's fine. Then they went into the PlayStation VR stuff, and Skyrim VR. Yeah. I don't know why they just didn't announce this at Bethesda. This could have been something Bethesda could have done, but obviously, Sony probably paid them a fair amount to do it at theirs. It's Skyrim on VR, because Skyrim is everywhere. I mean, I think the only thing they're not on now is mobile, and guarantee they'll be on freaking mobile when phones can be powerful enough to run Skyrim. Look, like, how many times do you have to play Skyrim? How many times? I played it once and I finished it. I finished it enough, and that was it. I was happy. I don't need to play it again on every freaking other console that comes out. I've had enough of Skyrim. I've had enough. I don't need any more. Then they had another one called Star Child, which was very weird. It's sort of like this ship landing on a planet, and then it wasn't in the perspective of the character we were seeing. It was like watching sort of like a platformer type deal. And she sort of comes along, and there's like these alien creatures and everything. It had a very kind of unique art style. It was very, very, very cool. And they come to this robot, and this big creature comes to attack the girl that's there. and the robot comes alive and stops the creature. And some people were saying like maybe you become the robot, or maybe like you play. It's a game that you're playing in VR, and you sort of can do things with the VR, like, you know, the motion controls and stuff. Maybe it looked interesting. It looked something different. So hey, it's more games for the VR. They're trying different things. I think definitely need to know more about it before really saying too much about it. The Impatient was the next one. Looks like kind of like a horror sort of, you know, psychological sort of thing. I think you're in a mental hospital, you know, talking to a psychologist and stuff. Horror games, like VR is made for horror games, so it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that that's there. Another Final Fantasy 15 freaking little spin-off thing. Looks like VR fishing. VR fishing. So if you love the fishing and you have a PlayStation VR, you can go fishing in VR and hang out with the guys at the camp and try and catch all these really big fish, and some fish attack you and stuff like that. So yeah, it's another spin-off tech demo thing. Okay. Then a kind of an FPS sort of squad-based sort of thing, like Bravo Team. It's called Bravo Team, sorry. I'd say I would use the gun thing for that PlayStation Move has. It's an FPS and in VR. That's pretty commonplace. Look like you're facing like kind of a military thing. Yeah, it was okay. And then another kind of cutesy one. It was very, very kind of cool. Where, by the looks of it, you don't play. It's sort of a puzzle-shaped one, but it's with this little mouse, and you're in this forest, and they show this point where you look down, and you're kind of a spirit, and I think you're helping this mouse get through things, and you kind of assist them, and like you move stuff around, and you know when he's fighting, I'm sure you help him out there. It looked cool. It looked cool. Like I think you control this little orb thing. It's something different, something cool, little cool. The mouse had this little like leaf gauntlet on his hands. Someone said it was like Stuart Little in the jungle, like Stuart Little in the forest or something like that. It looked cool. It looked cool. It was something, you know, something a little different. Probably has some feels to it. Guarantee that mouse is gonna get injured, and you're gonna, you know, go like, oh, you know, the feels will come along. So yeah. And that was it for the VR stuff. They had this section. Look, is anything for the VR like completely like mind-blowing? Like it's going to change the way we look at VR? No, it's not. I think I was more excited last year for some of the VR stuff. Like they had like Batman and all the rest of it. But obviously that was just tech demo stuff. For me, like VR has to take that next step for me to really get excited about VR stuff, which is like full-on games that for VR things that are like full AAA titles that all work great. Not counting freaking Fallout, you know, Fallout 4 and freaking Skyrim VR. Like that's, I mean, I think that's a start, but it needs to progress a little more than that for me to get really excited for it. So, then they moved into some the big hitters really after this. This was when they started really, you know, this is their big games that they're going with. God of War, obviously. They showed a lot more of that, some more gameplay, some combat, like more just in-game combat. It's still got that sort of flashy moves of God of War, but it's in that sort of perspective of like sort of what Horizon was in. Which a lot of PlayStation games are in that perspective now. So that third person kind of just to the sort of, I guess it would be the right of the character. They showed what the little boy does, his son does. He fights with you. Looks like he jumps on enemies. He has his bow. He's shooting people. They showed a few of the, obviously, like, it's Norse god related. So it showed, like, the world serpent and, like, a lot of the monsters that you're going to be fighting. I mean, it looks really good. It looks really good. definitely a reboot. Like, they're going for that whole reboot of the series. You know, obviously, they named it God of War, so... I mean, I think they realized, like, look, we want to do God of War again, but we've kind of burnt out the whole hack and slash sort of thing that we did with the original. I think as long as they stick to, like, what they did, like, when you're fighting gods and it's badass freaking things. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, they showed a giant hammer in the trailer and stuff. As long as they go with the whole craziness of it with, you know, with fighting gods, I think they'll be okay. I think they will be okay. But I'm excited to play it. And that's coming in 2018. I want it, you know? I want it. I think it's going to be really good. They showed off more about Detroit. They showed more of, I think, what who the main character is going to be, this Marcus. And basically, like, leading the revolution of these androids that, you know, that people have built, essentially. To kind of basically be the slaves, to do the jobs that no one else wants to do. Like, you know, be the garbage man and be the, you know, cleaning up the cities and stuff like that. And he somehow either hacks their brains and, like, makes them follow him, or he, like, maybe, like, they already have that freedom in there and they've got, like, programs that, you know, make them obedient. Maybe he can override that. They should have showed off how you can make multiple decisions. Like, you can, if you make one decision where something fails, then you got to make another decision. Like, do we run? Do we hide? Do we fight? And then also, like, when they approach different situations, like, they're gonna sort of do a protest thing, you know, well, like, after they free all of these androids, are we gonna, like, just leave? Are we gonna, you know, put graffiti up and, you know, sort of have, like, a protest thing? Or are we gonna be violent and destroy stuff and be that sort of group? Also, like, you get choices like, do we kill people? Do we not? It's a lot of choices. It's a David Cage game. It's a David Cage game. Lots of choices. By the end of it, I'm sure it's just a freaking giant mess at the end, and it goes all freaking, like, bananas and bonkers, and it's just... the script gets eaten by the dog, and it all just goes to shit. You know, that's generally how David Cage games go. It looks really good, though. It look like the whole look of everything looks good. They do the whole mocap of the faces and stuff. David Cage games are always interesting. They're always interesting. So we'll see how they do with this. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think it will be good. So after that, they went into Destiny 2. And we all know that was coming. It's the next big thing at the moment. So people were all excited for Destiny 2. They went in, they showed a trailer basically explaining, like, who the big bad guy is, like, what's happening with the Traveler and stuff like that. And, you know, the whole Cabal and all that. Then they went into the PlayStation exclusive stuff. And they're getting an exclusive dungeon, which I thought was a bit much. I mean, that's Strikes, by the way. I'm sorry if I said dungeon. What I'm used to. It's basically a dungeon. So it's a strike. They're getting exclusive gear. So that's, like, gear, weapons, all that. And they're getting an exclusive PvP map. And this is all timed exclusive to at least fall 2018 in America. That's over a year. So there's going to be over a year that this stuff is exclusive to just PlayStation players. Look, I know that these companies want to do exclusive stuff, and that's fine. But you gotta be careful that you're not separating out your player base too much. Like, obviously, like, the gear stuff is not really a big deal. As long as it's just, like, not, like, this big, huge legendary gear that makes everyone freaking, like, unbeatable to kill and all the rest of it. Like, as long as it's not that big a deal. But when you start, like, locking up, you know, actual content like strikes and freaking PvP maps and all the rest of it, you know, for long periods of time. Like, this is not like a few months. Like, if it was a few months, I don't think I really would give a shit. But this is, like, full on nearly a year of, you know, exclusivity to those maps. And by the time they become unexclusive, people won't give a shit. People won't give a shit. You know, they'll be on to the next, like, probably by that point, they'll be on to the next expansion for this. There'll be another DLC coming out for it. So no one will care about, oh yeah, the one that was made exclusive for PlayStation, yeah, that's coming out now. It's like, so yeah, so place. I mean, we always knew they were going to get exclusive stuff, but it's don't think it looks all that good, to be honest. Like, you know, for you know, when you start doing that stuff. But I mean, like, I don't really care about the PlayStation side. I want the PC side. We still don't know the damn release date for that. Hopefully, it's not like months behind. I'd hate if it's months behind. Because probably at that point, like, look, Anthem's coming along. Anthem's coming along, and like, I gotta decide like which ones do I want. But yeah, so Destiny 2, it still looks cool. I mean, I'm gonna get into it, but like, I want to play it on PC. I don't want to play it on console. So, then after that, they wrapped it all up pretty much and gave us Spider-Man. They gave us the new Spider-Man, gave us Spider-Man gameplay, kind of seeing, you know, how the fights, they gave us a bit of a fight scene, they sort of a chase scene and everything. The fights look like Arkham style. It looked like, it looks and like kind of reacts a lot like, you know, Arkham, you know, Batman Arkham series as well. Like it very much resembles that, just with Spider-Man, just in the Spider-Man universe. And yeah, obviously the web stuff's very cool. Like, you can use it a lot. Like, a lot of the combos use that. A lot of quick time event stuff again. But I think that's just you know, that's just a PlayStation sort of thing, like the Sony thing. It seems to be what they commonly do. It looks good. It looks really good. I want to play it. I really want to play it because I love a good Spider-Man game. I love a good Spider-Man game. The web slinging from place to place looks good. It looks solid. It looks, you know, like a lot of fun. Everything about it looks really good. The guy, the voice of him shocked me a little bit because it immediately like pulled me back to like Naruto and like Sasuke and Ben 10 and all that. The voice actor who plays him, just like, wait, I know your voice from too many damn things. But yeah, no, it came out pretty well. Showed off a few of the, you know, the villains that are coming along. Had Fisk, and a few others too. It looked really good. I was pleasantly surprised by Spider-Man. I was excited when I saw it last year. Coming out 2018, I think early 2018, so sort of probably first, second quarter next year. I want it. I think it's going to be really good. But yeah. Alright guys, that was Sony. That was Sony all pretty much done up. Where do I think they were, like, you know, in the thing? I don't even know if there's a winner this year. I think there was, you know, I think it was just like a kind of a blah sort of year. It wasn't anything super exciting. I think Ubisoft with their Beyond Good and Evil 2 announcement, but I mean, that's years away, so that's kind of like, oh my god, and then you realize what it is, sort of thing. Anthem for EA, and obviously Microsoft got some attention as well because of it being on their thing, but that's going to be cross-platform. That was something very cool. And then obviously going into, you know, Sony, you've got, you know, Monster Hunter Worlds, you got Shadow of the Colossus remake, you got God of War, Spider-Man, and all that. I think everyone's kind of on the level playing field. No one really won. No one really got ahead of anyone. We obviously still have Nintendo tomorrow, but they don't really do too much for E3. They like doing their own thing. They're the special child of the gaming world. They love to just do everything on their own. They love to, you know, do everything that way. And they had their big thing this year with the Switch. So I think a lot of people are hoping for like Animal Crossing and, you know, some other interesting showings. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Yeah, I think overall kind of a lukewarm E3 this year. Kind of a down year, like, you know, like BlizzCon. BlizzCon always has a down year. There's a lot of stuff that has down years. You can't always have the exciting games coming out all at the same time. Hopefully, you know, the likes of, like, for me, like Bethesda was a big disappointment, all that this year. But yeah, I think it was a good It's a good E3, but it was like, it was all right. It was all right. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the comments. All the rest of it is right down there. Check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheAverageKiwiGuy. Go hit that follow button. You'll know when we go live. And also check us out on Twitter and all that. You know, it's the best way to keep up with me. Yeah. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace. Bye.